back to my channel, Bobbing Bookbed, and on today's video I will be reviewing Loveless by Alice Oseman. Like as on my other standalone reviews that I do, this will be split up into a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section. So, although my spoiler section won't be very long, because, you know, I like to keep it short. So yes, let's begin into my review. So, to begin with, this is LGBT representation. It's about an asexual girl called Audrey, and you're basically following her story throughout her first year of university. And it's basically a coming of age story, but it's really well done. It's amazing, and I would definitely recommend it, especially like for asexuality representation, which is something that's not really properly explored by a lot of authors. So it's really nice to see one that's just purely focused on an asexual character and how she comes to terms with being asexual and the negatives and the positives that come with that. So just to begin with, we're going to just talk briefly about the character development. And I found it was really good, especially for the main character Georgia, for Rooney. I thought those two characters were really well focused on, and it really explored who they are as individuals. Really well done. I think my only issue is that I kind of wish that we got to see a bit more from Pip and Jason, because I felt like they could have been explored much more, and maybe, I don't know how else you could have. It's a bit of a hard one to do, but it would have been nice to see them being explored a bit more. Because obviously this book you're following Georgia's point of view, which is brilliant for learning Georgia's, what's going on in her head, her feelings, her thoughts, her dreams, her fears, everything. But when it comes to the other characters, they kind of get a bit overlooked, I think. And I think that's why books that really do follow a point of view style of different characters, like the main characters, actually does really well if it's done properly. And yeah, I felt it would have been nice to see a bit more of Jason than Pip. So yeah, for the character development, I gave it 4 out of 5, because except for that little bit, it was lovely to see her character development. It was really well done, and at times your heart kind of broke for her. And those times when she was making mistakes and you just wanted to just yell at her and be like, no, don't do that. But then there were times you just wanted to give her a hug, and I thought it was really good. The pacing was really well done. It was pretty consistent for the most part, although there were times when it went in just a little bit slow to what I would like, but I know that's just a personal preference to me, so I gave it 4 out of 5. The language I really loved. I adored the language. I thought it was really well done. I think my only issue is I kind of wish that there was a glossary of terminology, because for someone who, like, I've always kind of grown up with the LGBT community, as someone who has explored their sexuality, and so I know quite a bit about it. I'm not no expert on it. I'm not saying that at all. There's a lot of stuff that I need educated on, but for the most part, like, I understood. Well, I did understand, but I couldn't help but think as I was reading it, for someone who's never actually been a part of their community or has never educated themselves on the community and the terminology, it could be quite off-putting to them. So I feel like if they had a glossary of just outlining in really as simple terms as you can, which is really hard because some of the terms are quite complicated, but simple as it can, just like a quick, you know, this means this and this means that. No, these terminologies can change over time, which is an issue, but for the most part, I think it's pretty consistent. And I think it's something that I feel like this book kind of really needed. Especially like exploring asexuality, because I think there's, you know, it's still something that's still being taught about a lot within the LGBT community itself, never mind outside of it. And I feel, I mean, you know, I went through a period of thinking that I was demisexual, so when I heard that terminology in the book, I was like, I know what that means, it's fine. But someone who's never heard that term, because it's obviously on the asexual spectrum, to them, they're gonna be like, what the hell does this mean? And I feel like this is where it could really help in the educating aspect of this book a lot more by having it. I don't blame Alice Oseman at all. I think it might have been just overlooked by the publisher or the editor, or, do you know what I mean? Someone who just goes, maybe this would be a good idea to help. I'm not saying that all these type of books have to be educational at all. It's not what I'm trying to argue, but I think what I'm trying to say is it just would have been nice, you know? Like, if I was to give this book to my mom, there was a lot of terminology she would never understand, for example, you know? Or my dad, or, you know, it's one of those things where, or even my brother, who's way younger than me, like, until you start researching this, and to do that you've got to have time to research it, a lot of stuff you just kind of, you miss, right? And it isn't, as I say, until you educate yourself that you learn about these terminology terms. And I'm really happy that this type of stories are becoming more mainstream, because we definitely need that, I think. So yeah, I'll stop talking about that. Yeah, the plot development, coming of age story, really, really well done. I really loved it. And I really loved the way that it had, the ending of the story is really beautiful as well. So I gave it 4 out of 5. World development really did feel like university. I mean, I'm at university right now, so it's like, yep, that's basically university in a nutshell. So yeah, definitely a 4 out of 5. The reason why I took a bit of the world development was because it would have been nice to see some of the struggles that a lot of students feel when they're at university, because a lot of them do. I mean, I do when I'm not even staying at university, never mind like that. So I feel some of that struggle was a bit overlooked. But yeah, I gave this story 20 out of 25 stars. No, 20 out of 25, which is 80%, which is 5 stars. So this is a 5-star read. So definitely pick this up, educate, enjoy the story, and it's beautiful, definitely. Ready for the spoilers section. I don't have much to say, but there were some parts that I loved more than others. So all my pinks are the stuff that I loved, and the bit of blue is what I really disliked. One thing I really disliked about this story, I mean, I wouldn't say I really disliked it, it just kind of irritated me a little bit, was the fact that her and Rooney her and Rooney kissed, and I don't know, from a friendship part, I just kind of thought that was a bit suckish of Georgia to do, because I was just thinking, like, you pride on loyalty, and you've just sort of broke that, which really did suck. And part of me just got a little bit frustrated that she wasn't communicating her struggles to her friends, which, don't get me wrong, while I understand completely that a lot of these struggles people just deal with very internally, I kind of felt that, like, she prided on being very open with her friends, but at the same time being very closed off with her friends too, which was very interesting. But, and the whole bit with Jason, I thought, see, to me that bit with Jason was more needed in the story, and I understood it more than that thing with Rooney. Because I think it kind of got away from her A-sexuality story and kind of became more about gotta fix our friendship story. And it was kind of a shame, really. I loved her friendship with God. with I loved the opening. I thought the opening was really good. And her internal struggles of feeling loveless. And I loved her friendship with Rooney. I think that was it. I think I was just rooting for a friendship with Rooney so much that I really did not want that, you know what I mean, that to be ruined. I'm trying to figure out where the God of his name. Where's his name? Sunil. Yes, the president of the Pride Society. I love their friendship. It would have been so. I wanted more of him in the story. In fact, Alice, please do like a book focused on him. It would be so nice. I don't know if she has. This is my only book of hers that I've read, except for Heartstopper, which the review is coming, by the way. But yeah, I really love this story. I love the friendship between her, Jason, and Pip. Beautiful. Loved the romance between Pip and Rooney. That was so good. I just wish they stopped being. I wish they just. Oh, I don't know. You know what it is with romances when you root for them and you're like, just stop being silly and just talk to each other. It was kind of like that. But I adored it. Really well done. And I loved how even at the end, like, she figures out that friendship is just as beautiful as any romance. And that she doesn't need she doesn't need romance to be content or to be happy. And I love this phrase, this quote: give your friendships the romance you would give a romance. What did I just say? Right. I really adore this quote. Give your friendships the magic you would give a romance. I thought that was so beautiful. And I love the scene, like dressing up as Scooby-Doo, as someone who loved Scooby-Doo and who grew up watching Scooby-Doo. That was amazing. Yeah, Rooney and Georgia's friendship is just the best. They were so adorable. I loved them. And I loved Rooney and Pip getting together. It was amazing. And I cannot wait to check out more of her books, because I'm definitely going to. You will see more of her books on this channel, I promise. So yeah. Sorry about the spoiler part of this review being a bit choppy. I don't know whether I might keep the spoiler section parts or just do a non-spoiler review. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!